Hi, I'm Andy Crafanta, and today I'm going to show you how to use Tableau to plot your history data. Specifically, we're going to make some spaghetti diagrams that show our tag movement over time. So the first thing we need to do is import our data. We have a CSV file. This file has our Roomba vacuum cleaners in our office. You can see we get a preview of it here in Tableau. Today we're going to be using the short ID of the tags and the location and the timestamps. So we can go ahead and move over to our sheet. And what we need to do first is get our background image. So let's load that. And we need to tell Tableau the X and Y, so we're going to use location X and Y. We need to set the scale. This is based on the individual image. Y. And OK. And that image won't show up until we get some points plotted on it, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to be using our location X as our columns. Tableau always defaults to making a sum, so we don't want that. We want a dimension. And Y will be our rows. And same thing, let's go ahead and change that. And give it a second to calculate. And we should get a floor plan image of our office with all of our history points displayed on it. And there we go. You see we have quite a few points here. Covers most of our floor area, misses some of our cubes and offices, but that's to be expected with Roombas. You can see when we mouse over, we see the location X and Y, but we have two vacuums here. We can't really see which is which. So I want to right away make it so that's a little more obvious. I'm going to change the detail, and we want that to be an attribute. It's discrete. On our short IDs, so when I mouse over them, I see which one is which. I can see two short IDs there. So this is really more data than we need right now, so I'm actually going to filter it by one of those short IDs. So again, I'm just going to drag that up to our filter, choose attribute, and Tableau gives you a little preview of your data here. We only have two values, so I'm just going to slide this all the way to one end. That will tell it to only give me that tag ID. Hit OK. And there we have quite a bit less data. It's still a lot in some places, but you can see it's all the same tag. So that's great. So now what we want to do is we want to see those history trails over time. So we're going to go ahead and change this to a line chart. And we're going to use our timestamp as our path. So drag that onto our path. We do not want a sum. We want that to be a dimension. And there you can see our path. It's a little hard to follow though because we have so much data, but it is following our timestamps around the office. In some of the less crowded areas, you can see how the Roomba is taking little up and down paths across the floor. So that's really your basic spaghetti diagram, but we can actually do a little bit better. Let's say we want to be able to choose which part of the history we show. We can actually take that timestamp and move it up here to our pages. And you see over here on the right, I get this little history control. So what we want to do is we want to tell it to show history. And when we click this little drop down, take a second to process. We click this little drop down. What we really want, you see it's set to marks. What we really want to be the marks and the trails, but it's grayed out. So a little tip is that we need to set this to all. And then we also need to come back over here and change our marks from line to shape. And now, we come back over here, we can choose both. And so this little slider up here See, it's got a timestamp listed up there. This will set the ending time. So if I just slide this over a little bit, you can see it only drew up to that time I'd selected. So there we get kind of half of our office. And you can slide that wherever you want and kind of watch your trail as you go. The last thing I'll show you is this is great, but you only get to set the end timestamp. So what if I want to set a range of timestamps? So set the beginning. We actually need to do another filter for that. So we can take our timestamp, drag it up here to filter. We're going to tell it this is an attribute. And you see again, we get this little preview. And so here we can actually set the beginning and end. We don't need to worry about the end because our little page control sets that, but we can set the beginning somewhere in there and hit OK. And once it recalculates, we'll see that we can, you see we only get a chunk there. And so that's how you can set a full range in Tableau. All right, so I hope that was helpful. That was spaghetti diagrams in Tableau using your WISER data.